Well, hello and welcome to the Trog Clan Live 1 anniversary special for yours truly, Logical Troglodyte, on YouTube. What the hell was I thinking? I have no idea. But with us today, we have special guest, Mr. Sensible. Before we get to him, let's go around the table and get a quick introduction. We have, as always, the incomparable Amy Hogan. Yes, we have the sheep herself doing live chat call out and chief mod. How you doing, Miss Amy?
I am great, thank you. How are you?
I am, well, I don't know. Let's see, I got a pulse, I got my beer, I got my cigarettes. Yeah, I'm golden.
There we go.
Okay, well, we'll get back to you in a minute. And then doing our broadcast engineering software, we have Mr. Taddy Bogle. Taddy, say hi to everybody.
All right, troops, how's it going? Get yourselves a whiskey. Let's charge our glasses. Mr. Troglodyte, happy anniversary, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. And as promised, we have with us today Mr. Sensible. How you doing there, Cheesehead?
Hello, Mr. Logical Troglodyte, and thank you very much for inviting me to this, your 1 year anniversary. Congratulations, pal.
Well, thank you, but I kind of felt a little bad. The last time you were on the show here was my 666 subscriber special, and the guys got so rowdy, you kind of got shoved off into the corner, and it's like, no, I got to make it up to him. I felt so horrible about that.
No, not at all. That was the night when I was really tired as well, wasn't it? It was at stupid o'clock in the morning for me, I think.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning your time when we did that, but you were a good sport showing up anyway.
Yeah,
but anyway, I figured. Yeah, so I figured you were, just a couple of months behind me in being on YouTube for a year, so we'd give you a shot at, being on the show and kind of whatever. So, yes, we do have some stupid. I mean, it wouldn't be a Trog Clan Live without point and laugh at stupid. So tonight we have David Icke lined up saying really goofy things. But before we do that, I thought we'd have a bit of a chat about, Mr. Sensible and I, why we got on YouTube and why we did our channels the way we did it, and maybe look at some of our earlier work and point and laugh at ourselves for a little bit. So why not? If we laugh at them, we may as well be willing to laugh at yourselves. It's only healthy, right?
Absolutely. So we're going to just laugh at you, are we?
Well, you too. I mean, I'm not going to be alone in this. I mean,
Oh, you didn't tell me.
I'm all for roasting myself, but misery loves company. So what the hell?
Okay, fair enough. Fair dues.
So before we get to that, Amy, what's going on in live chat? Who is with us today? Because I can't, I've got Dino Tech, so I don't really watch the live chat and do a show at the same time. So what's going on? Who do we have?
We have Elia Moon. We have our very own Elia, our very own Taddy Bogle. The Bool is in. Electrome is in. Carl Edwards, and we have Eldon S is in, and Tusk is in, the Snark, and everybody has been saying happy anniversary.
Oh, thanks a lot, guys. And I wanted to say thank you to all the new subscribers. I've gotten several since Mr. Sensible did his premiere just a little while ago. So thank you, Mr. Sensible, for sending a few people over this way.
Always a pleasure. You helped me out when I started, pal.
Yeah, I started watching you when you had like 8 or 10 subscribers, and your first video was absolutely brilliant. With those subtitles on that same movie, and I just laughed my tits off, and I was like, "Oh no, we got to give this guy a shout out." And I probably had 400 or 500 subscribers at the time, so I might have sent you 1 or 2.
It got me started, and that was great. It really was.
And you blew up from there. I was so happy to see that. I mean, you just skyrocketed.
I'll tell you what, the way that people like you, Jack Monk, and the Shills helped and supported me was incredible. I owe you guys a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. But you know what? I don't mind having a smaller channel. Yeah, it would have been nice to hit that magic brass ring of 1K before my first year anniversary. But you know what? Being a smaller channel has its perks too. You know, there's always a good 200 or 300 people that are right there as soon as I release a video.
Yeah.
You know, and they're very loyal, and I really appreciate them. And even if I only had a couple that enjoyed my videos, at least I know I'm making somebody's day happy, right?
Absolutely. It was quite funny because after we spoke earlier, I had a look at some of my earlier videos, and one of them in particular I really enjoyed making. I was really proud of, and I look back, and it's got about 300 views. And I think, oh my goodness, all those people I've got who've come and viewed all my latest stuff, they've never seen it, which feels odd.
Yeah, I like when I find a new channel, even if they're a little bit bigger, I like going through their entire library, at least a good chunk of it, and see some of their earlier work, because I know the stuff there at the bottom of the list that we did originally, a lot of times doesn't get viewed.
No, that's right. So looking at a channel, you could find some utter gems there.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully we'll be looking at a couple of those this evening. And but I wonder, why did you get started in this hobby?
Well, it's a living, isn't it?
Why? For some of us who can monetize.
Yeah, I don't think you could live on that, mate. I really don't. Right. Well, I have looked at Flat Earth and followed Flat Earth crap on online forums for several years, and I really wanted to join in, but to be honest, it was just too much of a faff, and it was the same stupid arguments going round and round and round, but it was a very, very small bunch of people. And then I just thought one day, I wonder what there is on YouTube about it. And wow, it knocked my socks off. And so I set up a channel and then didn't do anything because life got in the way. So I think I set it up in about the November or December, but I didn't make my first video. I think it was till June. So I'm more than a couple months behind. I think about June I started. And yeah, I just wanted to do it because I hate stupid. I like poking fun. For the level of knowledge I've got, I like to let other people know what I know. I've had some people say, wow, I learned something. And that's great, because I'm learning all the time. When I'm doing a video, I have to do at least some research so I don't look like a total twat. And so I've learned a lot as well. So it's win-win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, absolutely. My grandfather used to tell me when I was a young boy, you know, if you go a day without learning something, you may as well crawl in your grave because it's all over.
In your cave?
Yeah. But yeah, for me, it was kind of the same. You know, when I was working, you know, 60, 70 hours a week. I knew what YouTube was, but I never had time for it. But after I became disabled and wasn't working anymore, started poking around on YouTube, learning how to decorate cakes. And then all of a sudden, one day, Professor Stick showed up in my suggested feed, and he was doing a flat earth video, and I'm like, oh, this has got to be a lark, you know. And I started poking around, and I'm like, oh my god, there's really people who believe this nonsense. And then I found Brainy Beaver and Fight the Flat Earth and Radical and AT2 Productions and several others, and started laughing my guts off, and it was just so funny. And after a while, you know, I started watching some of the Flurfs channels, and I started yelling at my phone. And Babes looked at me one day and she says, you know, if you got so much to say about it, why don't you make a freaking video? And it's like, oh, okay.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. You know, and contrary to, you know, popular belief, I'm really not a caveman.
No?
No, not really.
Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But don't tell me Babes isn't wearing a leopard skin bikini. Don't tell me she isn't.
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny the presence of any bikini, leopard print, or otherwise in our house.
Well, she might have taken it off.
Not while the cameras are rolling, anyway. Oh God! So people have been kind of wondering where I got the name Logical Troglodyte. Well, that kind of is an old family joke. When my kids were little, you know, kids always think that the parents are old-fashioned, and because of the way I speak from reading so much over the years, they kind of picked up some of my vocabulary, and they started calling me a troglodyte when they were like 5 and 6 years old. And then when they started getting ready to go through puberty and all the angst that goes with that, you know, and Dad, you know, and I give them a little perspective about it, and they'd say, stop being so logical, Trog. troglodyte. You know, and it just kinda
You didn't
stuck.
just say perspective, did you?
I did,
You
you know.
said perspective.
Oh,
You want to be
okay.
careful.
You know. So, yeah. Anyway, Amy, what's going on in live chat?
Yes, we've got the Snark says, so we have Babe's Troglodyte to thank for your videos. Thanks, Babe. And then we have, if my computer will stop freezing, it'll be all good. And then Cy Strickling says, just popping in to see what all the cool kids are up to, and she's giving hugs.
Oh, yeah, Striking. She's a little sweetheart, isn't she?
She's awesome. She's awesome.
So, anything you want to add to the conversation otherwise, Amy or Teddy or Mr. S?
I'm just going to say, man.
Well, I do want to say
on your own.
congratulations on 1 year.
Appreciate
Amy,
it.
though.
I saw that someone earlier on was commenting.
Oh, thank you, yeah,
I'm stood behind a rock. I guess they're wondering what I'm wearing.
Don't tempt me, man. Do not tempt me in this one.
Yeah.
I'm half cut already.
Tatty, don't tell me to get my rocks off.
Yeah, we're just having a little rock concert out there in the front yard today. That's all. Oh, God. But anyway, anybody in the live chat, Amy is logged in as Logical Troglodyte. So if you have any questions, comments, heckling, whatever, directed at Logical Troglodyte, and she will definitely be reading them out. So, Teddy, why don't we take a look at my very first debunk video? And Mr. S, feel free to yell pause, to heckle, critique, you know, remind me, hey, stupid, why didn't you think of this or whatever? You know,
Oh, yeah.
but
Absolutely.
yeah, this is
Absolutely.
my very first debunk effort.
Cool.
Here we go, trips. Trip down memory lane. Diddly-doo, diddly-doo, diddly-doo.
Oh, wow, it's been a hard day today. I wonder what's on the tube.
We have breaking news.
Ah, well, I guess the news is as good as anything else. Let's see what they got to say today.
Staggering discovery reveals Moon lies inside Earth's atmosphere.
Oh no! The moon, it's gonna... Wait a minute. I smell a rat. That's not the news. That's Red Pill. Oh, God. Is he going to say something stupid? Tell me he's not going to say something stupid.
They're now saying they had it wrong.
Did they now? Or could it possibly be that they learned something new? Which is the definition of the phrase scientific advancement. You know, that thing those pesky scientists do where they learn something new today and update the knowledge from yesteryear.
Telling you amazing new things.
Now you're getting it. Yes, that's it exactly.
As far as we've ever been taught, the moon is just floating in space beyond the reach of Earth's atmosphere.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was taught all those years ago. But somehow I'm suspecting something stupid is yet to come. By the twitching of my thumbs, something stupid this way comes.
Because after all, the atmosphere of Earth is the sky.
Oh yeah, I knew it.
For fuck's
There's the
sake.
stupid. I know I got a dictionary around here somewhere. Let's see, where the hell is it? Ah,
My
here it is.
Christing God.
Let's see what old Mr. Webster has to say about the difference between atmosphere and sky. Noun, sky. Plural noun, skies. The region of the atmosphere and outer space seen from Earth. Hundreds of stars shining in the sky. Atmosphere. Noun. The envelope of gases surrounding the Earth or another planet. Part of the sun's energy is absorbed by the Earth's atmosphere. So, no, not the same thing. But, by all means, please continue.
What?
What? What do you mean, what? I thought I made that pretty clear.
This is the new consensus. The new consensus is that the Earth is actually within the sky. The moon is within Earth's sky atmosphere.
Whoa, wait a second, hold the phone! Didn't we just look at the dictionary? And did we, or did we not, clear up the difference between sky and atmosphere?
This is a complete wiping away of what they've always told us. In fact,
So, I guess we're just going to ignore that little bit of information and just move on. That's nice.
in a moment we're going to get into how this is essentially the flat Earth cosmology.
What? Where did that come from?
Pause.
Yeah, with pleasure. Please.
First of all, logical. I'd like to say you seem to be wearing the same outfit you were wearing a year ago. Is that your entire wardrobe?
It washes. I mean, I got 6 suits. They just all look the same.
Now I forgot what the hell I was going to say about. Oh yeah. Dragging out that same old diagram of the heavens and flat Earth and whatever. What the hell is it based on? Someone in the Middle Ages drew some load of crap, and now that's gospel, is it?
Yeah, I've kind of been scratching my head for the last year about that sort of thing. And the only thing I can think of is the Gilded Age syndrome, and where we seem to think at our age that, people that grew up in the 40s or 50s, they had the golden age. People who grew up at then thought the 1920s were the golden age. But there's been this myth with us, from the early parts of when we first started becoming, urban people, way back in the depths of time, that there was this golden age that came before, where people lived longer, were healthier, were smarter, which isn't true. But somehow the flurfs really just go with that. I don't know.
I don't know, but that guy, I can't watch him. I've never been able to watch one of his videos. It just makes me sick.
Yeah, when I made this video, I had like 10 subscribers, and I figured, I'd go after the biggest, dumbest, most popular channel at the time, and at that time it was Red Pill, and I figured, why not go for Brooks? Start out with a bang,
And where is he now?
On BitChute, I think. He grabbed his Legos and went away because he got demonetized.
Where Nazi sympathizers and anti-Semites go to die.
Yeah. So, Amy, what's going on in the live chat about this?
Oh, we've got some good comments. Sarcastic Barman says, logical troglodyte. Damn, your video edits suck. Stop using the club and get a mouse. GS Geology says, it's a Mario. LOL. RPP is such an idiot. My wife offered to slap the mustache off his face if she weren't afraid of what was in it. Pointless Zoom, the world's most stupid facial hair guy. And then Mudge07 says, I'm missing something. Where's Big Bird in all of this?
Well, Sarcastic Barman's not wrong. Everybody that watches my channel knows that I don't have a real computer, that I do everything on an Android tablet. But my first 10 videos in my library were actually made on my phone, and the screen is so small and my fingers are so thick that it was really difficult to work the editing program. And so that's why I broke down, and bought a 12-inch tablet so I'd have more room on the screen, to be a little more precise with some of the cuts and whatever. But yeah, this particular style, I don't know if you've noticed, is what I call the ventriloquist style. You know, I talk to dummy talks. I talk to dummy talks. And I got to thank Radical for that. You probably notice a lot of his influence in this particular video, you know, at least as far as the style and the light humor is concerned.
Oh.
Okay. Hello?
Yep.
Is this thing
Hello.
on? Oh,
No.
so
Too many
Anyway.
comments in that, Trogical, to be quite honest with you. That, no, I'm biting my tongue at this one because I know you're not monetized, but when you do be, I will demonetize you with the comments I was going to make.
I'll go
Oh, no.
ahead. I don't really have any plans to monetize even when I can. You know, it's just a hobby.
Well, don't
That's
ever
fair
let
enough.
Chipmunk on then.
He's been on. So,
Oh, that's all
let
right,
her
man.
rip, Daddy.
Because, as I say, the one thing I will say that stands out more than most, you've got a much more strokable beard. And dear God, I would love to run my fingers around that hair, mate. I tell
I
you.
hope it's the, I hope it's the hair on my
back
cheeks that he's talking about.
Oh, but of course.
Oh my! Well,
Listen,
on that note,
the other bearded is just a fanny that talks. And trust me.
oh God! Oh goodness! I'm sorry, Mr. Sensible. He is a Scotsman. We have to make some allowances. No.
No.
So why don't we go ahead and polish off this bit of whatever the hell this is, and
Phrasing, logical phrasing. I'm no polishing nothing without payment.
okay. Well, roll the footage then.
Oh, I could make that one bad as well. But anyway,
Did you even read this article? Or did you just read the headline?
With the firmament or dome, the vaulted sky, with the moon and the sun within Earth's sky atmosphere. The sky of our Earth extends beyond. So imagine every time you've ever looked up at the moon under the heliocentric brainwashing.
Now I think you're just doing it on purpose. Sky and atmosphere, not the same thing. And at this point, I think I need to stop you before you hurt yourself. What this article is talking about is something called the geocorona, which has nothing to do with the flat Earth. It has nothing to do that they have been lying to us. What the geocorona is simply an area of very dispersed particles. And by the time it reaches all the way out to the moon, there is only about 0.2 particles per square centimeter. Now, if you want to call that an atmosphere, be my guest. But do stop calling it the sky there, Chicken Little.
Oh my god.
Why are you laughing? Really? I'm sorry, but your use of language is not funny. In fact, it's rather sad.
In fact, here's a quote from Igor Balyakin of Russia's Space Research Institute, lead author of the paper presenting the results. Quote, "The moon flies through Earth's atmosphere."
And you notice he said atmosphere and not sky. Do try to remember that he's talking to non-scientific people. And yes, technically, the geocorona is part of the atmosphere, but it is not a breathable atmosphere. For all intents and purposes, there's still a vacuum there.
Whatever the hell you want to call it. And
Stupid man, stop talking.
we're going to get into how that's what the biblical flat earth cosmology is, and in truth, many other flat earth models, not just a biblical.
He's still talking. Why is he talking? If you're not careful, Gracie Crinklesaurus is going to get you.
Pause. Pause. I just love that animation. How long does it take you, Logical?
Actually, not that long now that I got the plan on PNG files and chroma key and all that. But when I was doing this, I was actually photoshopping each animation cell individually as a whole. So I had to get a picture of his face and then plug it onto the turkey and then plug the turkey onto the background and in each pose and then animate each one, right? And but now I can just have the background. I figured out how to do the overlays and the green screens and the transparent background PNGs. So that video is what 6 or 7 minutes long. It took me a good 25 hours to do. Now I can do the same video with the research involved in 10 hours or less, really.
So it's quite an investment of time.
It is.
Because, one of your videos takes a lot longer than one of mine. A lot longer because of that extra work. I mean, I'd done one the one that came out tonight, I think that was about 4 to 5 hours, something like that.
Yeah, well, it's different, doing the live thing, the live looking thing like you do versus the animation. I decided to go with animation, partially for online anonymity and partially for creativity. I wanted to build characters and build a world in which to do the debunking in, and quite a bit of my videos actually have a bit of a story to it. There's one where we go to court, science court. And there's another one where we're actually on the bridge of a cyber ship, because troglodytes are more advanced than we let people know. We actually have cyber ships that patrol cyberspace and, search for and try to eradicate stupid wherever possible, So, yeah, I tried to create stories and whatnot and characters. And I think one of the characters I'm going to have to use here soon that people seem to enjoy hadn't been used in quite a while. It was Dr. Freudian Schlip. He's our resident psychologist. But yeah, it does take some time, and and sometimes it's hard to stay motivated because you're spending so much time looking for stupid that might actually be fun to debunk. And then I tried to make all of the episodes designs different, and that took a lot of time and energy. And I've been a little lax about it lately. I started doing a couple of videos a week, and then I went to 2 videos a week, and then I went to like 3 videos a month, and then I started putting time and energy into the shills and the Logic and Reason show. And yeah, I kind of let this channel slide a little bit, but I'm doing my best to rectify that.
Well, it's a lot of work, isn't it? I don't fully appreciate the amount of time that goes in with the animation, but people in general don't appreciate how much time goes into a video full stop.
Yeah. It is quite a bit. On average, between finding the victim, topic, doing the research if you need to do it, building the video with the animation and all the storyline and everything, it takes me about an hour per minute of video. So a 10-minute video is going to take about 10 hours to do.
Well, maybe you should speak to Mr. Daniel Pratt, because he can bang out 3 or 4 vids a day. And they're quality merchandise.
But yeah, and of course it saves a lot of time when you don't have to engage your brain before engaging your mouth.
Well, that's
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
I suppose he does have to switch his boiler on first to warm the shed up.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I think the rest of that video was just I started originally doing credits rolling at the end screen, and at the very end of the credits I used to put these little jokes in there just to see if anybody would ever notice, things like Crankosaurus as being a product of a deranged imagination, no flurfs being harmed, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
No.
I haven't put that sort of thing in, but I have put things right at the end, and I think a lot of people do miss it. I put a couple of little things in, But there we go. But it's like in a cinema. I saw something at the cinema. It's a few months back now, and people, some people are always keen to get out at the end, but they left 5 minutes before the end of the film. Why bother going if you're going to walk out before it's even finished? I can understand not wanting to sit through the credits, although I tend to, but to walk out before the thing's even finished, well, why not just pay your money and go straight home? You could definitely be sure of getting your car easily then.
Yeah. I started doing that little thing because I saw the Marvel movies do that, where they put previews of the next movie scattered in and amongst the end credits, and I thought that was quite clever.
Yes, and then you got things like what's the animation thing that did Toy Story and that, and they've done sort of maybe not the Toy Story ones, but other ones from the studio. They've done outtakes. Obviously, they're made up outtakes. It was in Toy Story, wasn't it? Woody falling over and stuff like that, as though he was a real actor. I think that was inspired.
It was. Amy, anything going on live chat?
Oh, absolutely. We've got some good comments here. Digital Demonic Davros says, at Logical Troglodyte, hard to chisel on the fly. Godless Scummer says, watching Mario here reminds me why I preferred Sonic the Hedgehog. Steaming Cupper, that was a good one. Steaming Cupper Reason says, look how close together Red Pill's eyes are. Proof positive that his brain is imploded. And Digital Demonic Davros comes back and says, if no space, there is no cosmology. He will not be able to debate anyone on science or religion. He is real perpetual poop. And Dick Dawson says Red Pill is a clear case of flurfical masturbation. Remember, folks, don't masturbate in public.
and did I hear you appropriately earlier, the last time you read out comments, Amy, that GS Geology is in the house?
Yes, he is.
That's a name I have not seen in a very long time. Thank you for showing up, GS Geology. He was one of my very early subscribers, just like Demonic Davros, had left comments on some of my older, my original videos, but I hadn't seen him around, and I know people come and go, but thank you so much for showing up today and helping me celebrate their GS. I appreciate that.
That's awesome. Welcome back. And then Electrome says, not only is this guy a Poe, but he's bad at pretending to be stupid. And then he says, I hate when they use flat earth cosmology. Cosmology is a branch of astronomy. Astronomy is a science. Flat earth is not a science. And then Eldon S says RPP has only one brain cell, so maybe only needs to breathe one molecule and actually survive on the moon. And Dick Dawson says, teach a man to fish, he eats for a day. Teach him how to chroma key, and he goes flurf bashing. Who knew?
Yeah, don't give me no shit there, Dick. I'm the one that turned you onto the chroma key, if you remember. This IT guy can't frickin' edit,
It's all coming out now.
Oh, sorry, I'll put it away.
Yeah, there's a reason. Never mind. So anyway, Mrs. Sensible, you get anything?
Not right this second. No, not right this second. But what was it I saw? Someone said in the chat. Eldon S asked if you do all the drawing yourself, LT.
No, there's an artist from Mexico by the name of Mimo Angelis, and he sells his stuff on Shutterstock and rf123.com. And I didn't want artwork that had watermarks all over it, so I decided to invest a little bit of money and actually buy the artwork. And when I decided on the name Logical Troglodyte, I was searching for a good caveman, and I really liked his stuff, so I've just been buying his stuff.
It reminds me of Flintstones, that sort of world. I love it. I absolutely love the artwork.
Yeah, it's really good. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that there's a video game, a side-scrolling adventure video game called Trog or something like that, that I think the same artwork actually comes from originally.
Cool.
Are you talking about a game from, I don't know, about 20 years ago?
Yeah,
There was a game.
or was that Game Boy or something? Mm-hmm.
Was it called Frack? Do you
Yeah,
remember
I
a
don't
game
really
called
remember
Frack?
what it was called, but I could be wrong. But I think the same characters were from that same artist was used in that. Maybe.
Chat, get on it, man. Let us know in the chat. Was it Trog or was it Frack?
I don't
Come on
know.
now.
There was a game
there
called
was
Frack,
20
and it was a little caveman who'd walk along, and every now and then, for some god awful unknown reason, would suddenly say Frack, F-R-A-K. Goodness knows why, but that rings a bell. Frack.
Yeah, could be. But we're talking 20 years ago, and I'm an old man now, so my memory slips from time to time.
Well, you're about 40,000 years old, aren't you?
Well,
Or is it older
yeah.
still for cavemen?
Well, no, it's about 40,356 years. Yeah, just had a birthday recently.
Cool.
So what do you say, since we looked at one of my original efforts, why don't we look at one of Mr. Sensible's original efforts, and we'll let the audience decide who did it better in the beginning.
Well, to be fair, I think that the video you're going to show is not one of my ordinary. It depends which one you're picking. Is it my
the-
300 subscriber special?
I don't know, man. It's just whatever ones you sent me.
What should we look see on there? Du-du-du-du-du.
Oh, someone sent a link to Frack, which is a Commodore 64 game. Oh, no,
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Well played, go over, Mom.
Yeah, and that was with a caveman. But I don't think it's the one you're talking about.
Oh, no, it's that one. Right, Mr. S.
Oh,
The first video we have for yourself is NASA shell exposed. 100% proof.
oh yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Hold on to your hats, troops. Here it comes.
No expense spared on the intro.
Hello, and welcome back to Mr. Sensible. It's only been 3 weeks since I uploaded the first video to this channel, and yesterday I ticked over 100 subscribers, which frankly is gobsmacking.
Wow.
What's more gobsmacking
Wow.
is I've had a look this morning, and it's had to cut that. It's gone up to 124. Absolutely amazing. Thank you. Anyway, I really,
And now you sit
really
at 4K or
appreciate
something
it.
like that?
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just so hard.
4.1.
Oh, excuse me a minute, will you?
Amazing lighting. It's called the sun.
Oh, wow.
Best lighting there is, mate.
Wow. I've just taken a special delivery I've been looking forward to. A NASA shill manual. Yeah.
Look at that cut.
Oh, hi. It's the shill department. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, no, it's really haircut.
I've just received my NASA shill manual. I think there's only
Stylish
one sheet of
haircut.
paper in it. I was expecting some quite detailed instructions. Okay, so I just follow the steps on that sheet. Brilliant, thank you. Okay, step 1. Practice low gravity walking. I think I could do that.
Mrs. S was so embarrassed filming this in case the neighbours saw.
For number 2s, take supplied pipework marked B and insert. Gotta be bloody kidding me. For number 1s, use the pipe and insert yourself. Oh, okay.
Excuse me?
Choose relevant size.
Too small.
Yes.
That's the one.
I love that look of bemusement on your face.
Please note how cool it makes you look and how comfy.
Pause. That is me. That is me in a real flight suit.
Oh.
I was very fortunate in that I spent a day on a police helicopter. How about that?
Nice.
Oh, wow.
How cool.
Yeah. So the filming that's about to come up was real. I don't know if I was allowed to, but I had my phone, so I thought, what the hell? I'm just going to do it. What are they going to do? Arrest me?
Yeah, when I first saw that video, I thought maybe you was a real pilot.
Oh yeah, someone did mention that. They thought I was a pilot, but no, I'm afraid not.
Yeah, but what the hell were you thinking? Don't you know we have a conspiracy? You're not supposed to read your NASA show manual live online. What's wrong with you?
I was new, LT. As you'll see at the end, I didn't realise they should adjust the instructions to put that up front. But we'll see. We'll see.
You're lucky the MIB agents didn't mind wipe you.
Well, what's his name? NASA payroll system did mess around and delay my payments because of that.
Yeah, well, if that's the only thing that happened, you got off light. Jeez. Hey, Amy, we got anything going on the live chat?
We do. Dick Dawson says, channeling his inner flat out. Nice. That's awesome. And Sarcastic Barman says, Mr. Sensible, thank God your lighting has got better. It's so shiny. And then Eldon S says, Ministry of Funny Walks.
Well, it might be. It might be.
They might be. And Bo Nielsen says Mr. Sensible is the NASA plumber. And Bob Sr. has spent time in police cars.
But anyway, why don't we go ahead and check out the rest of this video?
Okay.
At NASA, we don't want to look like pussies, so if something is scaring you, drop the visor so you can't see it. Then you'll no longer be scared. Probably best just to wear it down and make sure you can always catch a reflection in the visor showing the curve of the Earth.
Portrait mode, for fuck's sake.
All our staff eat really expensive, fancy rations. Please try the supplied ration. Supplied ration. Oh, wow. Vanilla ice cream sandwich. Brilliant. Okay.
Those things are about $12 each, apparently.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I used to buy them for my kids when I took them to the
We
science
take the ice
centers,
cream we know and love
and
with the power
they
of
loved it. I
freeze-dried
thought it
cream,
tasted
yummy
like
new snack,
styrofoam.
Frozen in time,
I
yet not
enjoyed
frozen
it.
in temperature. When you remove the water from ice cream, what do you have? A delicious, crunchy, yet creamy sweetness that melts in your mouth, sandwiched between two chocolatey
Creamy
wafer cookies.
sweetness.
Oh,
I'm hungry now.
that's quite good.
God, that's loud, isn't it?
Thanks for that, Nessa. Congratulations, you're fully trained. Now pose for the obligatory photo. You're now ready for your first chill mission. NASA can
Oh,
bill
yeah.
the government for $16 million. Cue a clip of stock video of launch and then apply CGI. Excellent.
12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4.
That was scary. I was
3,
really nervous.
2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour.
That's better.
You shut yourself.
Look, see, cheese, I. Glad to be home, I tell you.
Let's face it, we made a splash.
Congratulations on the success of your first shield mission. Have a nice day. Love, NASA. Isn't that nice? P.S. This is supposed to be secret. Don't tell anyone you're a shill. Bugger. Okay, guys. Anyway, I've just had a check and I'm now increased by another 2 subscribers just while making this video this morning, which is fabulous. Thank you so much. Big thanks to 2 channels who have mirrored videos of mine and sent subscribers my way. Logical Troglodyte and AB
Whoa,
Science,
I forgot that.
who are both gentlemen. And for those of you who haven't checked out their channels, I'll put links in the description. Highly recommended. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to YouTube user Surf, SYRPH, who was my 100th subscriber. Cheers.
Yay,
Well, that's it
Surf.
for today. I hope you enjoyed something a bit silly, a little bit different in celebration of 100 subscribers. I look forward to seeing you all again when I shall be looking at another flat earther and an idiot idea. Stay sensible.
Can you hear my clock ticking? That was using the same webcam, but it was using that as a mic, and it picked up the ticking of my clock no matter what I did. I put it on the other side of the room, it was still tick, tick, tick. But LT, I had forgotten that. Yeah, see? I did appreciate your help then. A shout out for you. Yeah.
I know you did, and I was really grateful when you put that in there. I'm pretty sure you're just like I am. It doesn't matter how big our channels get. Every time I see a notification that a new subscriber has clicked on the button, to me it's just as exciting as when the first 1 or 2 did.
Yeah. But I remember thinking... and watching when I launched a video, looking at the analytics and thinking, well, imagine if I could actually reach a point where I could get 60 views in an hour. And it's just, you think, the way things change over time, it's just amazing. Just amazing.
It is. And and I get stuck in the 700s for a good long time, like 5 months.
I think that's a YouTube thing. I have a little burst and then come to a stop. My understanding is they sort of test you and then they give you a little push to see if it picks up. Yeah, that's how
they do that, and then the buggers also unsubscribe people involuntarily who haven't watched for a while, which I think is, just bollocks. But that's just me. But then, like I said, I put a lot of time into the other live shows and stuff too, and kind of neglected this channel for a little bit, but we'll get back there. But like I said, I never expected to be where I'm at, much less where you're at, and I know you kind of feel the same way, that we just figured, well, this is kind of something silly, a few people might join in with a little chuckle here and there, but who really wants to watch this stuff? But apparently people do.
And it's great, isn't it? When you get comments, when you get likes, subscribes, like you said, it's a nice feeling. You think, I put in that effort, I enjoyed doing that, but someone else likes it and they've told me so. That's great. Although I must admit, what I also enjoy is when one of these flat earthers gets all what's the word? Unnecessary and moist, and thinks that they have to drop horrible comments. And that's the things. If they came in and said, "Look, LT or Mr. Sensible, that video's rubbish," because that'd be fair enough. But when they start just insulting, I think, "Oh yeah, I got you riled."
Yeah, I got some trolls early on trying to argue things with me. And if I thought they were rather interesting, I would argue back with facts. But when they were just kind of numpties, I just would laugh at them. And they couldn't take that. Very thin-skinned folks. They just wanted to argue. And the more I laugh at them, some of them wouldn't even last 24 hours. But I did have one guy that lasted several days. And he was a lot of fun.
Well, I've had Bob,
Fraser.
your job, not Bob job. Oddman. He's been my long-term troll, and one thing that was nice is he commented on every video saying something horrible or personally attacking me, how I looked and so on. That's fine, but then on my 1,000 subscriber special, he made a comment and he just said, "Congratulations," which I thought was wonderful, because despite all the stuff he'd gone on about, he actually came on and said congratulations. And now it's really nice. But now he comments, he makes those meme photos up, where, some photo of me with a caption underneath, which I appreciate the effort, but they're actually not very funny. But he keeps doing it, which is nice.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get a rise out of you. But, you know, in real life, they can't be that kind of dicks in real life, otherwise they'd be walking around with no front teeth and a broken nose. They're just
some of them
people just like we are.
Some of them. I mean, I had that debate yesterday with Mitchell from Australia, and he seems like a decent guy. I've had Flat Earth New Zealand I've chatted to. He's a decent guy. But Nathan Oakley, oh my God, I don't think I could sit down and have a drink and a chat with him. No way.
No. Probably not, but yeah, I gotta hand it to you. You did a great debate yesterday. I challenged a few to debates, but none of them ever took me up on it, and I'm kind of glad, because it's you can't really have a proper debate when one side is just so demonstrably incorrect,
Well, yeah. So I mean, I think that lately, how much notice have people taken of Oakley? Not much. I've not seen much about him lately.
I haven't looked at him in months, to be honest.
Well, no. I mean, other debunkers doing stuff about him, they're just not bothering.
Yeah, I mean, when you just recycle the same old stuff over and over for years, it just gets boring. That's why I've kind of looked at some of the other stupids that are out there that, other than Flat Earth, like the moon landing deniers and the cryptozoologist with Bigfoot and Nessie and things like that,
But I think that's all right. That's stupid. It's ridiculous. What gets me are things like anti-vaxxers and... the latest thing, of course, is all the conspiracy. I won't say the name of it because I understand that YouTube may be No, it's not that it's bad, but YouTube may be picking up. But the illness that's shooting around the world, putting that as a conspiracy and blaming that on governments and goodness knows what. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, it's
it is
ridiculous. Yeah. But I was messing around on Twitter earlier today, and you mentioned anti-vaxxers. Like, now that's one that's just downright damn dangerous. Yeah. And today I just became totally embarrassed about being a citizen of the United States when our own president tweets out an anti-vax message. I'm like, you.
What did he tweet out? What did he tweet out?
Something about children being loaded up with vaccines, and all of a sudden a change happens and autism is real, whatever. And it's like, it was a very pro anti-vax message, but it's like, God, that's embarrassing.
Well, I went to the doctors today for some tests and that, and as part of that, the nurse said, "Have you had pneumonia jab?" And I said, "Oh, I didn't even know you could do that." She said, "Well, I'll see if I got it." "Oh yeah, got one left. You can have that." Brilliant. So I had it without a second thought. And then I asked her, I said, "Do you get any anti-vaxxers?" And she says, "Yeah, we do," where they just refuse it. And then we're just talking about it, and I was saying about how in the UK, mumps is on the rise. And she said, "Oh yeah." And as soon as they read newspaper articles about stuff like that, they come in. "Can we have a vaccine? Can we have a vaccine?" It's ridiculous. So they won't put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, absolutely not. But anyway,
yes, this is not very cheerful, is
topic. But anyway, I noticed you had to cheat there a little bit in case the audience voted who did it best in the beginning, and you gave us your 100 sub special, which is fine. That's okay. We don't mind you trying to stack the deck, but go ahead, audience. 1 for Logical did it better in the beginning, and 2 for Mr. Cheesehead. Go ahead. And while they're doing that, I don't know if anybody's ever asked you, Mr. Sensible, but what do you use on your head? Sex wax or?
Sex wax? Yeah. It's a solar panel for a sex machine.
Yeah, well, no, sex wax is what they use on surfboards.
That's what it is.
God bless
Oh, is
Doctor
it?
Dog.
Is it?
Sarcastic
Yeah, it
barman.
is.
So not, what is it? Slide right. 1.5
what's
is
he-
colon.
Yeah.
Okay, something really good's happening in the live chat, so we'll look over at Amy and have her fill us in for those of us on
Sure.
Dino Tech.
Yes, sarcastic barman voted 8 times for one. AJ Ravenwolf said 1 and 2. I can't choose. Colon says 1.5. I love you both. Pip says 2. Demon Orb says 2. 9 o'clock Hero says 1 and 2. Sarcastic barman's being silly and says 3. And
He's voting for himself, isn't he?
Yes. And then Pip says, "Don't make us choose." And GS Geology says, "Both of you are great." And Delzac says, 5 divided by 0. Taddy Bogle says 33, so that's Illuminati confirmed.
Yeah.
Adam L says square root of 4. Arctic Reflections says 42.
That is the answer. That is the answer.
Well, Taddy is in
There we
danger
go.
of having his bottle of scotch taken away from him for not voting
yeah.
for me, the little weed numpty bastard.
Never threaten a Scotsman for taking away his whiskey. I don't care
That's
how
right.
big your club is done.
14.7 is one vote. This is an A, God the Scummer says. Ziploc says square root of -1. Never a hero, always a 0, says Mudge.
All right. Well, thanks a
10
lot,
to the
guys.
-17th power.
I'm really glad that the live chat is having a good time with us, and we appreciate you being here with us. But
Yeah.
as we said, as any YouTuber will tell you, we all start out with a bit of a plan in head. Sometimes it's nebulous, sometimes it's really well thought out, but there's an evolution that happens. And so I'd like to kind of show the video that I'm actually the most proud of on my channel. This, I guess, came along in June. I started in February. I started making episode designs with storylines in the background and creating new characters. And I decided that some people are so ridiculously stupid that rather than debunk them, why bother? Just laugh your tits off, So I developed a Star Trek episode, and at the time, I didn't know very many people in the community, and I asked AB Science and Nancy Flatter to do some voiceovers. I asked Babe to do a voiceover. I kept thinking, God, there's this other character. Who in the hell's gonna do it? And Annie said, hey, I can do both. Really? Okay. And he did it brilliantly. So I'd like to show you my take on Star Trek.
These are the voyages of the cyber ship Troglodyte. Its mission? To patrol deep cyberspace in search of stupidity, and if possible, eradicate it. Captain's log. Logical Troglodyte recording. Cyber date 2019.3.29. Sometimes I fear we're fighting a losing battle. My crew and I have faced multiple opponents, but yet stupid continues to reign in cyberspace. When will it end? Only the universe knows, and it ain't saying.
Captain, I'm picking up a weak signal. I'm not sure, but I think it may be stupid.
See what you can do, Lieutenant, I hear ya. Ensign checkmate. What's our position?
Orbiting YouTube server as ordered.
Status update?
The reality drive is 3 bytes shy full, Captain. That's a lot of logic flux in this part of cyberspace interfering with the information flow.
Sounds like we have stupid on our hands somewhere. Lieutenant, I hear you. How's that signal search coming?
It's weak, but steady, sir.
Put it on screen, Lieutenant. Let's see what we're dealing with here.
Aye, sir. On screen.
They're in debt. You people have paid billions of dollars.
By the power of Grayskull, it's MRM, sir.
I can see that, Lieutenant Soho.
Sir, our records indicate that Imrin is Class 1 stupid. Intellect power at -10. He has also been known to augment his stupid with mind-altering substance.
Not saying you ain't keeping the economy flowing and all that bullshit, but you paid billions of dollars for nothing.
Thank you, Ensign. Triangulate that signal and plot a course.
Aye, sir. Plotting course now.
This fucking plant will never fucking be in production.
Sir, the reality drive is fluctuating. I advise taking it easy until I sort out the logic flux interference.
Noted, Chief Snark. Soho, take us in.
Aye, sir. Course plotted and laid in. We are entering the server now.
I see what goes on there. I was a foreman. I was a GF on that fucking job. I walked off it. I couldn't stand it after so long. It took me about 6 months of being a GF. I spent 3 years out there.
Sir, there is new input-output stream in our path. It is not on charts.
Chief Snark, I need full reality drive. Now.
If you had all my time together, I'll never go back there again.
I'm giving it all I can, Captain, but she can't take any more.
Get it sorted, Chief.
You know why? Because I stood up for the man, and they fucking... Because what happened is...
Soho, full power to the equation shields. Take us through that I.O. stream. No time to go around.
Aye, sir. Equation shields are at maximum.
They told us to come in at 11:30.
Captain, INREM has progressed from stupid to horse shit to dangerously close to batshit crazy. The logical flux storm is getting worse.
I hear ya. I hear ya.
We're talking about a small city out there, 5,000 employees. They didn't like that. But I stood up and I said no.
Captain, we directly over the target area.
Make all weapons ready.
So what they do? They give me a piss test. That's alright. I packed my piss.
Soho, launch logic torpedoes.
Damn, that had no effect, Captain.
Sir, INREM has raised its THC shields. It's going to take more than logic to get through.
I give them their piss test and they dumped it out and said it's not enough, and it's more than enough ever for any piss test. They dumped it out and made me fucking piss again.
Lieutenant, I hear ya. I need that signal censored. Engage the NASA quantum flux capacitor. Soho, fire relativity missiles.
Well, now I just dumped my sample out. My clean sample.
Why, holy tarnation, sir, the weapons are ineffective.
I smoke pot, big deal. It's legal in the state of Washington. Who are the feds? They're the runners of this realm, people.
Chief Snark, upgrade all weapons with a gram of buttertium.
But sir, buttertium is still experimental. Are you sure?
You're talking about the Clintons and the Bushes and the fucking Obamas. Yeah, they're all bloodline. We had a fucking third grader that traced down the bloodlines of the presidents, and they are all, every fucking president that's ever been in office is related by blood.
It doesn't look like we have any choice, Snark. This level of stupid needs to be stopped. And now.
Fuck me,
A
gentlemen.
third grader figured that out.
Aye, sir, but be aware if this doesn't knock him out on the first shot, then a butthurt Flurf can easily turn into a Flurf troll. They're ugly, sir.
You got fucking Walmart. I'm gonna start right there.
I'm aware of that, Snark. We can handle a Flurf troll if we need to. Just do it.
I've done a lot of research on Walmart. I know that Walmart is the 90% of all Americans in this realm live within 10 minutes of a Walmart.
Aye, Captain. Butthurtium weapons at the ready.
90%.
Soho, fire all Butthurtium weapons.
Fire now!
I know Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, was.
Captain, we've lost all signal from INREM.
Do you think it worked, Captain?
Only time will tell, Ensign Checkmate. Only time will tell. Lieutenant Soho, take us home.
Big credits on this one. Orgy torpedoes. Gotta love it, man. Got to love it.
There is flux capacitors. I saw it in Back to the Future.
Yes, it is. Come on. You're reading that bloody manual again, aren't you?
That was just too much fun, and he was just railing and so loaded during that stream. He was so pissed off that he had gotten fired, but yet his ego couldn't let him admit, I got fired for being a dumbass.
Fired
and
from
he started.
what? What sort of job did he have?
He was working in a construction on a power plant in his local area. So yes, in Washington State. Yeah,
were they using him as a fuse or something?
I don't know, but in Washington State in the United States, smoking marijuana is legal, but it's not a good thing to be high or drunk on the job, right? Well, he's working building a power plant, and that's what he was talking about. It'll never be online. They're taking your money and they're fooling you on, stupid bullshit. But what he what he didn't tell anybody was that the power plants are regulated federally. So even though it's legal in the state of Washington, it's not legal according to federal law. So if you're doing a job for the feds in any capacity, you're not supposed to be able to test positive for things like THC,
Well, you shouldn't be doing that sort of thing on any job. You've been paid to do the job, not to get yourself high on weed.
Yeah, and I heard you say "what" in the background real incredulously when he talked about all the presidents being linked by bloodlines. What he was talking about is there was a news report in Colorado where this girl in middle school or junior high school had run genealogies on all the presidents, and somewhere in their genealogy they can claim King George from the 1700s as an ancestor of some sort, like fourth cousin sister's roommate 12 times removed bullshit, right? Which just kind of shows, how far-reaching, one's descendants can be, But he tried to make this huge conspiracy that they're all linked by blood, and it's all this Illuminati family controlling the world, and I just thought it was so ridiculous.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And of course, I'm related to you. You're related to Kim Jong-un. We're all related. It's just
somewhere along the line, if you go back
Absolutely.
far enough, sure.
But you know what that means? We're related to Daniel Pratt. Oh my god!
Oh fuck!
Oh god!
Are you sure he's not a separate
that.
species?
Oh, now I'm sad.
Yeah. But this particular video, to edit with the script and have his things on screen that kind of matched the script, like raising his THC seals as he's lighting his pipe and all that kind of stuff, that was actually not that easy to do.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So, anyway, Amy, anything going on live chat? Anybody got some jokes
my
or
gosh.
some roasts or whatever about that?
They do, and it's like sarcastic barman says, "Logical Troglodyte, how can it be your best video if I'm not in it?" And Side Striking said, yeah.
I don't know. That
said,
seems like a self-answering question, doesn't it? Sorry, barman. I love you, Bo.
Yes, Boolionator loves the names of your characters in your show. Ensign check.
I hear you.
Butt hurty and weapons, LOL, is what Eldon said. And God the Scummer said, I thought this guy's job title was head jizz mopper at the local porn theater. Oops, sorry, I was confusing him with Validation Boy.
Brilliant.
He wishes.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny at it. So yeah, they love it. This was an awesome video, Glober Mum said. It was brilliant. And Godless Scummer says, if you do another one of these, please cast Taddy as Mr. Scott. It has to be done. So.
Oh, Tatty, you've got to say it. You can't change the laws of physics.
You can't change the laws of physics, Captain.
He's got the job.
Yeah. And I was wrong. I didn't release that in June. I actually released it in late March. That cyber date was actually the calendar date of March 29th of last year. So yeah, I'd only been on the air for a month and a half when I made this particular video.
A month and a half.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible to be doing stuff like that after just 6 weeks.
So, yeah, it was, to date, is my favorite one. And that line that the captain said, I hear you, that was Babes' contribution to the script. She's like, come on, it's funny. I'm like, oh no, that's hokey. And she goes, trust me, it's funny. I'm, okay, I'll put it in.
Ziploc just come up with another good one. Pratt proves that elevation, that, it's, oh my gosh, I'm laughing. Sorry. So sorry. Pratt proves that evolution is fake. That's funny. And Pip says, beam me up, Taddy.
Yeah, I'm really glad we're looking at these because it's, it is reminding me how much fun this can actually be. This last few weeks I've been getting really frustrated trying to make my Bigfoot video, for technical issues and that. And it's like, Arr! And it's like, just relax, dude. It's fun, remember? Oh, yeah, duh. So what do you think there, Mr. Sensible?
I loved it. I thought that was really clever. I really did. And the way you got various people, AB I recognised. Yeah, I thought it was really good. And like I said, after 6 weeks to be turning out something, what's the word? As creative as that, I think it's fantastic. I really do.
Yeah, thanks. Well, that's one good thing about, the animation stuff is, if you really want to be creative, there's a lot of room for it. You know, I don't think there's enough animation channels, to be honest.
No, there's not that many. Not pure animation. There's plenty where it's just a static image, even if it's a cartoon image. But with animation, not so much.
Yeah, I wish I had the ability to draw and animate these characters better, rather than the South Park style on that. But hey, it works. Why not? So anyway, anything else in live chat, Amy? Before we take a look at one of Mr. Sensible's later efforts.
Yes, please, because Tusk really has a good comment. He says the best thing about this community is that there's no hierarchy, no hero worship, and no self-appointed leaders. It's the main reason I stay around. That in the chat. Thank you so much, Tusk, because I agree too. It's just everybody that's all together instead of, there isn't a leader, so it's really good.
Hail Sagan.
Hail Sagan, definitely.
That's right.
I know, definitely true, man. Definitely true. It's one of the main reasons that I've stuck around in this community is all you buggers, all you scunners. I fucking love yous all, man. Yous are all brilliant. And the comments you come away with, oh my Christ in God, I piss myself so fucking often.
Has anyone got a link? Has anyone got a link to Google Translate, please?
I think he said he loves us and he wants to be our teddy bear.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
I think he also might have said he wants to have your babies.
You're reading the private chat, you bugger.
Unless he's an alien, I don't know. But yeah,
it's that soft beard.
Can he change the laws of biology?
We can get a damn good try.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's the great thing about this community is that even though we're all debunking the same stupid stuff, everybody has their own take on it and their own personalities and their own senses of humor, and everyone is just so unique, and it's fun to watch everybody. I wish I had time to watch everybody that I am actually subscribed to in and amongst everything else I do in life, online and in real life, but I don't, but I get there as often as I possibly can.
Yeah, there's so many channels I'm subscribed to that I genuinely was happy and wanted to subscribe to. And when I look at my list of subscriptions, I feel guilty that I don't get to see as much of their stuff as I should. But there's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much work doing a YouTube channel would actually be before I started it. And probably you can say the same thing, yeah?
Yeah, I work 6 on, 4 off shift pattern, and those 4 days are entirely working on YouTube. Entirely.
It's a good thing Mrs. Sensible is an understanding soul.
Well, no, she kicked me out, and I had to have something to do since I was locked out anyway. I thought, why not do YouTube?
Oh, and then you got kidnapped and had to be chained to the radiator with
absolutely
Pratt and everything. I'm so glad the penguins rescued you.
Yeah. Well, people like Barman and others holding me like that. It required a lot of subs to their channels before they agreed finally to let me go.
Oh, those cheeky buggers.
Actually, I would like to say for those creators who stepped in and helped me out in January, covered, I think it was about 8 or 9 creators created episodes that I could just put in, slot into my slots. Because right now I cover 5 a week. Covered those slots for me, including Sarcastic Barman, and it was great. And everyone got to see something different. Some you like, some you don't like, some you love, some you want to subscribe to. So I really appreciated it. So despite the fact that guy has been so rude in the side chat tonight, thank you, Sarcastic. I appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate you asking us to fill in like that. It was
Oh yes,
really
you did one
flattering
as well.
to
I
be
do
asked.
apologise. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, it was more
Yeah.
babes, wasn't it? It was more babes and Jutmonk.
Yeah. Yeah, I was sick at the time. I had a month and a half of being sick, and she said, I can do it. We've been holding this Tostitos video for a while. And it's like, okay, fine, So she saved my bacon on that one. But yeah, it was very flattering to be asked, to do that for you. And so I appreciate it, and Babes appreciated it, and she had a good time doing it.
Well, I'm really glad, but I mean, you said you're flattered. I was happy to ask and really pleased that you and the others agreed to do it. But then that's this community, isn't it? Helping each other out.
It's kind of all shucks, or it weren't nothing. So anyway, let's take a look at a later Mr. Sensible work and see how that stacks up next to the cybership Troglodyte.
How much later was this one? Do you know? I don't know. I can't remember which one it was.
If I can advise you, the next one is called Flat Earth Finally Mapped.
Oh, yes.
Did I give you a wee hint?
Yeah, but I can't remember when it was.
Oh, yeah, bugger you.
You
Oh, well.
Aye.
Roll on.
Roll VT.
Roll the tape.
Ooh, new intro.
I'm Mr. Sensible. Welcome back to the channel.
Pause. That was using one little LED desk lamp. That was all my lighting. So you see why I tried to use the sun where I could. Now, of course, I've got proper lighting. One hell of a difference. I can't believe how bad that was.
I don't know. It kind of startled me the first time I saw that. It's like, oh my God, they cut off his head and it's just kind of floating in space. He pulled a dickus.
It's like one of those dodgy voyeur videos, isn't it? Just creeping out in the dark.
Or when we were children, he used to go camping and telling scary stories by holding the flashlight up underneath our chin to make our faces a little more frightening. Yeah.
There we go, mate.
Today, I'm going to look at a channel by a guy called Max, and he has created a flat Earth map. We always thought that these flat Earth maps were bad. Here's a few examples. Anyway, if you thought they were bad, you've got to see this one. We're going to go through his explanation for his flat Earth map. Take it away, Max. First of all, I've got to apologise for Max's filming. He's a flat earther. I don't think he knows about landscape filming. But we'll have to go with it. Go on, Max.
What's up, guys? So today I'm just going to be explaining this map I drew. As you can see, the Earth is a 360-degree circle.
Yeah, I think this was the first time I did sort of picture-in-picture. I think I just got OBS just before this, and that made a massive difference. It was such an easy way to do a breakdown on a video. Just play the video, pause it, and I had to instantly react. That was the only thing, rather than play it, cut, and sit and think, what am I going to say? I sort of did it real time, but it was quite interesting.
Yeah, and visually it's a little more comfortable rather than the screen flipping back and forth between you and the moron.
But you've got to know what you're going to say. Okay, you can watch the video a couple of times beforehand to give you a rough idea, but otherwise you're going to start putting cuts in and then showing you on camera and then cutting for no real reason would have looked odd. So I had to do it pretty much in one take.
Oh, that takes some talent.
Well, we haven't seen the video yet.
No, that's well. Okay. I was trying to be optimistic. Go ahead.
Cheers, man. I was just going to say, it takes some talent to stream and work the OBS at the same time. If that's done in one take, my cap is doffed, sir. My cap is doffed.
Well, you say that, but the number of times I've done live streams and I've been chatting away because I haven't enabled the mic. One of them, I wanted to show someone else's YouTube video, and I'd attached the YouTube video. It was displaying, and I was talking over, and I forgot to enable my mic, so no one heard me because it was in a different scene. The number of times I screw up with OBS is just incredible. I think I've pretty much learnt it now, though.
Cool. Sorry, logical, mate. Didn't mean to jump on you there, mate.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead and let's watch some more of the video.
Oh, yeah.
The outer circle represents Antarctica, which is a circle of ice. North is 0 degrees or forward. South is 180 degrees or backward.
Forwards? North is forwards. I thought that Flurfs always thought of north as up. But forwards, okay. But looking at your map there, Max, the continents don't look very recognisable. Are you sure you're not just making this up?
East is 90 degrees or right, and west is 270 degrees or left. And then in between those, you have northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest.
I'm glad he's here to tell us these things.
As you know, a compass dial always points north, so I drew a compass dial in the center of the map. It's pointing towards God's mountain, Mount Zion.
What? Where did that come from? And look at the frickin' size of it. You should be able to see that from anywhere on the Earth. Okay.
I added a little magnet right here to represent that Mount Zion is a gigantic magnetic structure, causing the compass dial to always point towards Mount Zion. Attached to the circle of ice is a gigantic dome, which is called the firmament. This is described in the Bible in Genesis chapter 1, verse 6.
So we've got a huge frickin' mountain that we can't see. We've got an ice wall all the way round, and yet in reality we've got Antarctica that we can go around, and you've got a dome that we have never seen.
I love your facial expressions.
Inside the
when you
dome
do
is the
these.
sun right here, and the moon right here, and the stars are also inside the dome.
Have you not looked at any astronomy pictures? Have you not questioned how seasons work, how eclipses work? Did you know that the stars are moving? I'm not just talking about the 24-hour rotation, and I don't know how that will happen with your dome, but actual real movement. If you take photos of certain stars, I think it's Barnard's star, might be one of them, several years apart, you can see how they have moved. You seem to be implying, you haven't said, but you seem to be implying that these stars are either, I don't know, painted on the dome or, well, hanging from it. I don't know. What, they're just floating? Carry on.
If you read Genesis chapter 1, verses 16 through 17, it says that God put the sun, moon, and stars inside the dome. The sun is known as the greater light, and the moon is known as the lesser light. Surrounding Mount Zion is a gigantic square-shaped city.
What city? Again, you're just going back to your Bible. That's not evidence.
Called New Jerusalem. This is also known as the City of God. This city is 1,500 miles long and 1,500 miles wide.
You do realise that that city, at 1,500 miles along each side, you've actually got it as bigger than the entire Earth. 1,500 miles. I think you might have a problem with scale. But then flirts usually do, don't they?
And it's also made of gold.
Gold?
What?
The entire city is made of gold. Is that because it's valuable? Because if there was that much gold, then it would have no value at all. The only reason gold has a value, anything has a value, is scarcity.
Revelation chapter 21 verse 16 says the city is 12,000 furlongs long, 12,000 furlongs wide, and 12,000 furlongs tall.
Tall? Like a Borg cube? What, is the mountain on top of it? Why haven't you drawn it? A city, three-dimensional city, larger than the Earth. Who the hell lives in it?
1 furlong is equal to 1/8 of a mile, so 12,000 furlongs is equal to 1,500 miles. So you might notice that the scripture also says the city is 12,000 furlongs tall. So most people think this means the city is a cube. I believe the height of the city is referring to the mountain itself.
So we started with just some vague mentions in the Bible about a city 1,500 by 1,500 by 1,500, which I've got to say seems quite implausible. And as that doesn't sort of equate with what you want, you just make crap up. So you just assume it's not 1,500 tall, it's a mountain that's 1,500 tall.
The mountain is in the middle of the city. One version of Psalm chapter 48 verses 1 through 2 says that Mount Zion is in the city of our God. The King James version of Psalm chapter 48 verses 1 through 2 says that Mount Zion is in the north and the city of God is on the sides of the north.
Doesn't this tell you something? If your infallible scripture cannot agree, then you having faith in it just shows you that faith is not a good means for coming to a decision, for deciding what reality is. So depending on which version you read, you've got a 1,500-mile mountain either in the city or at the edge of the city, and the city is 1,500 tall, or it isn't, just because you decided it isn't. You're just making shit up. Come on, this is no good. Oh, blimey. Seconds left. Come on, convince us.
If the city of God is on the sides of the north, this implies that the city of God is surrounding the north. So that's the video, guys. Have a great day.
So that's it. You have just totally pulled that out of your butt. Why'd you bother putting this on the internet? Why not just show unicorn farms? I mean, this is no way to live your life, no way to consider reality. Why don't you look at some evidence instead? See what we actually know. Things we know for fact, not just made up rubbish. I think that's quite sad, really. Anyway, that has to be the crappiest attempt at a flat Earth map I've ever seen. Guys, thank you for joining me again. I really appreciate it. Ooh, I can take these off now. I really appreciate it. It's great to see you each and every time. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Just hit little old me, mini me, down in the corner. And don't forget to hit the notification.
Oh, that's the first time I ever said that.
Until next time, stay sensible.
Shut up and sit down.
That's amazing.
Wow, that was a blast from the past.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I actually like that new jazz piano that you put in your opening. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think haven't I had that from the beginning? I can't remember. I've got a feeling I've got the same music front and back that I always had.
Yeah, I think so.
Did you?
Yeah, right from the beginning.
I think. Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe
I think
apart
what
from the
changed
Hitler one.
was the sound that it
That's right.
originally
Yeah,
made.
I had that, and
now it goes.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
that's
did
the
all
change.
that. Did all that a few months back when I got when I got the new editing software. I think that's when I did it and made a proper intro. But that was, as I said, I think it was the first time I did I know it wasn't live, as in stream, but in effect, a live breakdown of a video when I was just pausing it and commenting with whatever I could, whatever reaction I had at the time. Hence why I think there was a couple of swear words in there, because I wasn't really thinking, I was just gobsmacked at the stupidity of the guy.
Yeah. Just, and one glaring point of debunk that you missed, and just gonna have to point it out, is that he claimed that Mount Meru was magnetic, and then he claimed that it was made of gold. And correct me if I'm wrong, but gold isn't magnetic?
Not very. Although it seems to stick to Mrs. Sensible.
That's a different field of physics.
What sticks to Mrs. Sensible?
Yeah, women in jewelry, that's a whole other field of physics. It's kind of like, like doggy physics. I had a 20-pound dog, and you get comfortable, and you go to lift him up, and all of a sudden he weighs 100 pounds,
Well, I think it's more a field of economics when you come to the price of jewellery.
So, Amy, what did the audience in the live chat have to say about any of this?
Oh my gosh, they're laughing so hard. There's some really good ones. I had one from... To highlight one was from Blue Marble Science. He says, "Oh my gosh, this guy is making my hair hurt." And Pie Parrot says, "Was there a facepalm warning? I'm suing." And Bo Nielsen says, 1,500 miles tall structure made of gold could have an integrity issue. And then Tusk says, "Have you ever counted how much time you wasted on this FE crap, and is it balanced out by the fun you've had and the people you've met?" And then
interesting. Actually,
that is an interesting question.
It has. It has. I mean, the amount. I'm not a sociable person. I don't go down a pub and just chat or anything like that. But I've had the time of my life talking, interacting with people from all around the world. I've only met one other creator, and that was the Creaky Blinder. I met him in January on my trip away. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Excellent.
Good question.
And who made that comment about suing for lack of facepalm protection?
Oh, yeah, Pie Parrot.
Oh, well, Pip, I tell you what, kiddo, if as long as you've been hanging around this group, if you don't already know about needing facepalm protection for videos such as these, it's your problem. Learn by experience or earn a Darwin Award. We're not responsible for any concussions that might be received due to massive face palming while watching these videos. There, how's that?
There. And then Blue Marble Science says, "Hell, I may unsub just to avoid ever seeing anything like that again."
Thank you
There's
very
some
much.
laughy faces on it. So those are some of the good ones we've had. They've been amazing. As far as I would have to say, even myself, I've met more people, and I think it's more than balanced out. I've met some very fascinating, very interesting people, amazing people that I am honored to know now because of Flat Earth, and I think it's great. Logical and Mr. Sensible included. I mean, I wouldn't know these people if I hadn't gotten into Flat Earth or anything, so... I think it really does balance out.
She's just buttering us up right now, Mr. Sensible, because she knows we're going to be paying her for this.
Hold on. You didn't say I had to chip into the running costs.
The chocolate's good.
One thing that I've always enjoyed about your videos, Mr. Sensible, is your facial expressions. You go from this utter look of amusement to this look of horror to this "what are you fucking thinking" look on your face. And your facial expressions are so much part of the comedy that you put into it. And that's kind of the drawback with the animation. I have to do that with my voice, because you can't see my face.
Yes. But then we can't see that you're filming it just wearing your underpants.
Well, no, there's an upside there, but
Which is a blessing.
On your head.
Trying to convey that with just your voice, that can be kind of tough.
Yeah, I bet.
So, but anyway, as far as the evolution of our channels go, I think I won that little battle between, my red pill thingy and my Star Trek thingy, massive evolution, whereas Mr. Sensible, he just got a little bit better at, what he did, some, but, whatever, we can't all be troglodytes, I suppose. Prove me wrong.
I still want to see Babes. I want to see a picture of Babes. Perhaps you could DM me a picture of Babes.
Why all of a sudden did Babes' picture with the headline of Playboy flash through my head? I got no.
Again?
She has the hottest of voices, though. She's lovely.
She is a wonderful lady, and she puts up with my bullshit. So there's that. I don't think I'm going to trade her in anytime soon. I'll keep her for a little while longer.
Cool.
But anyway, I think I noticed earlier in the live chat when we were playing part of a video that I think it was Tommy Grunwald alerted me to that there was like 10% of the live chat audience were Norwegians. Out friggin' standing. I think the Norwegian crowd is freaking hysterical. They're Tommy's great. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever watched his channel, but he's hysterically funny to me, and he's so dry about it, which makes it even funnier.
Well, I like what's his name, Radical. His sense of humour. It's just considering it's not going to be his first language, is it? The way he chips in his little comments, it's just so funny. He cracks me up. He really does.
Well, he's Dutch. He's not Norwegian, so
What is he?
But yeah,
is he Finnish? Finnish? Or
no, he's Dutch. He's from
is he? Okay.
Kingdom of the Netherlands.
I see.
What most Americans think of as Holland, although Holland is only a small part of the country. But, that just goes to show most Americans are just dumbasses, which is why we seem to have an inordinate amount of flat earthers that are Americans on the internet. At least it seems that way to me.
Thank goodness for that, though. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, there's been times I have considered moving to Canada or Australia, just whatever. But anyway, what's going on in live chat there, Miss Amy?
Yes, I have a very good comment from Michelle Desert. She says, hey, everybody, I will say that I've learned more about our planet, math, physics, cosmology, orbital mechanics, debunking flat earthers, and listening to all of you fine folks. Thanks. And I agree.
Appreciate that.
I do agree with that. I think that's amazing. And she's enjoyed all the people that she's met on here. Everybody says Tommy Grunwald is awesome. And yes, he is. And Tommy said, logical troglodyte, Mrs. Trog puts up with your bullshit. Cece's wife didn't.
No, she did not.
No, that was awesome. And Surf says, if you move to Canada, you'll be sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd let me into Canada. I don't apologize near enough. Oh, Michelle's name is pronounced dessert, not desert. Do I have that backwards? But anyway, yeah, Michelle's been hanging around this channel for quite a while too. Been a long time supporter. Always waves hi. One of the first people to wave hi to me when I walk into a live chat on another channel. So thank you, Michelle, for knowing that I exist. But anyway, it's I had promised you that it would only be about 2 hours. I don't, even though a lot of my live streams tend to go longer than that, I don't want to abuse anybody's generosity of time, and we're now an hour and 45 minutes into this, Mr. Sensible. I don't know, do you need to leave soon?
Well, I'm okay for a while. No, I'm okay for a while. Mrs. Sensible wandered down, brought me a cup of tea, so I'm sorted.
Thank you, Mrs. Sensible.
Well,
Tell her hi for me.
Well, I would, but she cleared off. She's gone to bed. She's left me to it.
Okay, well, if you wanted to forego pointing and laughing at David Icke, we can always schedule another stream for that.
No,
we've been having so
please.
fun laughing at ourselves,
See, the thing is, David Icke, he's a Brit. He used to be a TV presenter here. I think he did sports TV presenting.
Yep, and a goalkeeper.
All of a sudden, he dropped out, and the next thing we see, he's walking around in lilac robes. Do you remember that, Tatty? Sort of saying he's the son of God, or he is God, or whatever. And everyone's thinking, what the fuck? Where did that come from? And it was only
Aaron was going to drop into the sea.
Yeah, it was only later you got all the stuff about reptilians and God knows what else he's on now. But yeah, he was just your everyday sports TV presenter who must have been earning a fair whack, and then he went weird.
Yeah, I knew who he was, even though I'm an American, but I don't like American football. The rare occasions I do watch sports, I like watching football. And so I knew who David Icke was, and when his cheese slipped off the cracker, man, did it just slide right the frick off.
Yeah.
You know, whew. You know, I don't know if it's true, but somebody had told me he used to be an MP in Parliament.
Don't remember. No. David Icke, don't think so. Don't think so.
I could have misinformation there. You know,
Google is your
happens
friend.
all the time. Well, you know, I like libraries and paper books, but hey, I'm a caveman. What the hell do you expect?
Yeah, what do you expect? Yeah.
But I see a sea of orange over there in the live chat. What is all that about, Amy?
Yeah, Michelle Desert. Sorry, Michelle. She says it's unbelievable that it's already been a year. Congratulations, Logical. And then Godless Scummer is asking us, do you remember David Icke's appearance on Terry Wogan's show? And then
Yes.
9 o'clock hero says no.
No.
We haven't had a no out of everyone. Come on, guys. No. That's better.
No.
Absolute trouble.
Oh, goodness. Well, yeah, he got off onto a lot of weird stuff, and, you know, the Queen of England being part lizard person and all kinds of weird crap. But Babes has been after me to do a David Icke video for a while, and I found this one particular one that I was saving for a live stream. It's like almost an hour long, so I won't subject people to a live stream quite that long, but, you know, he goes from zero to stupid real quick anyway. So in this video, he is actually giving a lecture at a seemingly fairly large lecture hall, and he's trying to do it very ivory tower style, and I just couldn't believe the bullshit that was coming out of his mouth. I'm like, oh no, a 10-minute video wouldn't do this justice. We've got to do this on a live stream, you know. So with that little introduction, I'll let Taddy roll that beautiful stupid footage, and we'll see where it takes us.
Saturn is the key in so many ways to what is happening with all its moons. Just a reminder, Saturn may appear to be what it is in the holographic world, but actually, again, it's an information field. It is a consciousness. Everything is aware. Everything has a consciousness. So these planets and suns, they have consciousness. They have awareness. They are entities in their own right. And interestingly, this is the accepted ancient symbol.
Pause. What the hell did I tell you? You know, we didn't even get, 30 seconds in this video, Teddy, before he went off the deep end. That opening statement that Saturn is key to what's going on, but he didn't tell us what's going on. It's like, I want more input. You know, I feel like that little Johnny Five robot. Input. Need input. And then he goes off the deep end about how these celestial objects are conscious entities. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Well, he's got the consciousness of a rock.
Yeah, I think the coalition
half intelligence.
Yeah, the coalition of geographic strata might actually have a word to say to us about insulting rocks in this manner. Oh my God.
He's been hit one too many times, I
With
think.
a rock.
Yeah, with a rock, I think. Sentient beings. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's like Charlie Brown in the Halloween special. You know, I got an almond joy and I got a popcorn ball and I got a rock. Oh God.
AJ Ravenwolf says, "Poor rock."
Oh goodness. So shall we crack on, or do you have something? Anybody else have anything to say?
GS Geology says never insult rocks around a geologist.
sorry.
What did I
GS.
tell you, Miss Sensible? Yeah.
I never knew there was such support for rocks in our community. What about gravel? What about a pointed stone?
Chucky Steve.
Yeah, I'll have 2 packets of gravel and a large flat, please.
Well, when it comes to poke and flurfs, I find that the best thing to use is very long poles of bamboo sharpened at the end. You know, that's my preferred use anyway.
Well, as long as it hurts.
Yeah. So let's crack on, Teddy, and see what else this idiot's got.
Of the sun. And people think, understandably, that it's a symbol of the sun that we know today. But is that symbol more likely to be the sun we know today or the sun we once knew? Saturn. Saturn is the key to understanding so much. It was known as the Old Sun. It is known in occult as the Old Sun, the Dark Sun, and the Dark Lord, the Lord of the Rings. And the massive penny dropped for me. Whoa! The kaleidoscope moved when I started to realize.
Stop that.
Oh, God, man.
The Lord of the freaking Rings? The sun we used to know?
The Lord of the Ring piece.
Oh, it's definitely that, man.
So,
what's he mean Saturn was a sun? I mean, it just has not got enough mass. I mean, Jupiter possibly is a failed sun, but Saturn, no.
No,
close, man.
No.
I mean, and it does sound like he's saying that the sun we see today isn't the same sun that our ancestors saw 10,000 years ago, you know, because it was really Saturn. And did he get demoted? Was he a bad son and had to get spanked and set off to bed without dinner? And, you know, I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't think he knows.
Oh, God, and that symbol he was showing, okay, it may be something in comparative mythology somewhere, but to me it just looked like a circle with a dot in it, you know.
Well,
that's...
I can actually cast a bit of light on that, because that is a Pictish symbol.
So what?
Symbol even. Pictish.
Okay.
Which was the inhabitants before the Scots came over to this glorious country. And it's known as the ringing dot. And that's it. That's all they know about it. Because they never fucking recorded anything. It was all oral history. And they died out about 600 AD at the latest. That's all they know. So you can take your Saturn and stick it right up your fucking ring. Yeah.
And you know what, guys? I'm going to have to check the closed captioning later in the replay, because when he said Pictish, I thought he said Pixies, and I'm thinking, okay, slow down on that single malt there, brother. And then he clarified with, and it's like, oh, okay, Pictish. I know what those were, and they didn't have the wings. It's okay. What's the live chat saying? What's that, Teddy?
Yeah.
Just saying, didn't have any Red Bull. No wings.
Oh,
okay. No wings.
No worries then.
No wings.
So what's the live chat saying, Miss Amy?
Boolienator says Saturn is the Lord of the Rings. Bah! Bob Senior says, I wonder who dresses him. And Bo Nielsen says Dark Sun was a PC game series and paper RPG world. Glober Mom says, my precious. 9 o'clock Hero says he's been talking to Mark Sargent. Tommy Gronvold says, but sometimes I really wish I did drink. This is one of them.
Yeah, I know what he means.
Yes. And Godless Scummer says, I preferred David Icke when he was a professional footballer. He was a goalkeeper and then a sports presenter on the BBC. So as a goalkeeper, he must have been conked a couple times with the ball. That must be what happened. And Colon says, if Saturn is the Lord of the Rings, Sauron was going to be really pissed.
Yeah. I'd like to know where he's at giving this lecture and who in the hell is buying tickets, because they need to be slapped.
Repeatedly. Was a big fucking brick.
I think he's making himself a nice living. The question is, does he believe this crap? Or is he just lying? Because if he believes it, then I think he's sick.
And if he's just lying, he's really fucking sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different sort of sick.
I mean, yeah, okay. So after I graduated college, I made barely more money than I did as an over-the-road truck driver. So on one hand, you can say, okay, going to college wasn't really worth it. But on the other hand, it's kind of like, I think I would rather be middle to poor, with some obvious intelligence than to be rich and people thinking I'm a complete jackass. I don't know. Maybe I just have a sense of ethics or whatever, but I just can't bring myself to actually pretend to be stupid for monetary gain.
Well, Eldon S has just dropped a message in saying that he sells out big arenas every time.
Wow. And
it's true what they say.
Said, yeah.
Kind of makes me feel a little bit better about the amount of conspiracy theorists that are in the United States and Canada. If these filling out big arenas in the UK, my condolences, guys.
Yeah.
I think he's actually traveling to the States to fill up.
You cut out there.
I said I think he's possibly traveling over to the United States to fill up arenas. Ooh.
Oh no.
Have I gone?
No,
you're here now.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe Mr. Ike and Mr. Trump will get together and come up with something. Who knows? Jesus. But anyway, let's see what else he's got.
At least so many, if not all, the ancient sun gods were not gods of the sun we know today, but of the Saturn sun that was focused on before, because it was in a different position. Saturn has long been symbolized as an eye. There's the eye. There's the eye of Sauron, Lord of the Rings. The reptilian eye, the symbol of negative force. And what happened...
He's talking to a fucking brown eye in the
brilliant work of David Talbot in the Saturn myth is that at some point there was an enormous ejection of debris in an explosion out of Saturn. And it formed like a luminous crescent because it reflected light at certain points of the day. And this, as the Earth moved on its axis, when...
oh yeah, please. I'm going to play something in a minute.
Saturn moved, so I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, they had a recession and they couldn't afford the rent in the inner solar system, so he had to kind of move out to the, the ghetto of the outer solar system. I don't freaking know, but this ejection causing this luminous ring, it's like, I think we need a citation for this, some evidence rather than the horse shit you're just pulling out of your bum. You just can't say something. You gotta show me some evidence. don't you?
Most definitely.
Where has he got this from? This idea. Okay, how long ago did he say Saturn ejected all this stuff? Okay, so who saw it? Who wrote it down? And how did they see it? Where the hell is he getting it from?
I
Do you
don't
think he
know.
just
like
had a bad trip?
Maybe. I mean, it's obvious from some of what he's saying that he is talking about a comparative mythology class that he might have sat in one time without really understanding what the hell the instructor or the professor was talking about. I don't know if anybody's ever taken a comparative mythology class, but they're pretty interesting, comparing and contrasting, like Egyptian myths with Norse myths, with modern myths and Stone Age myths, whatever. It's kind of a cool course of study. But I've never seen anybody come out of it saying this kind of wacky stuff.
Right.
Mr. Sensible, did you get struck dumb?
No. I am remembering. I am remembering to switch my mic off because every now and then I have a bit of a coughing fit, and I don't want to cough all over the channel.
Yeah. Well, I knew this guy is really, really wacky and stupid, but I didn't. I don't want to, cause any disability in, with your tongue locking up or whatever because of it.
No. I've got a pan-galactic gargle blaster, and I'll just have a couple of drinks from that. And because that's like knocking your brain out with a gold brick, and then the pain of listening to Icon is shite, it fades into insignificance.
Gotta love Douglas Adams. He was a brilliant genius of a man.
The best. In fact, I just saw earlier on. A comment on one of my videos, a couple of videos back, someone just picked, because I do drop little nuggets, little Easter eggs in there on most videos, so I can't remember which video it was, and some guy was saying some idiocy, and I just mentioned that they've got a page for people like you in the Reader's Digest, and someone has just picked up that was a quote by Arthur Dent, which I was pleased someone finally noticed it, but I do chuck things like that in my vids.
Oh, I'm going to have to start paying a little closer attention than I didn't even catch that one, and I've been a Doug Adams fan for years,
One I've used a couple times was about flat earthers. Well, I've seen your evidence, and I counted it twice, and there's none. That sort of thing I've used a few times.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Amy, anything going on in our live chat before we crack on?
Oh, yeah, there's some good ones. Blue Marble Science says the old sun got a hole in it and all the light leaked out. Fortunately, it was still under warranty and Amazon exchanged it for free. Bullionator said goalkeeper is... I know, so funny. Bullionator said goalkeeper is a lot like Ringmaster QED. David Icke is Lord of the Rings. Blue Marble Science is actually one guy in the audience and he's wearing a trench coat. John Rapp said these verbal masturbators are stupid, but what about the audience that laps it up? Some humans are devolving. Bob Senior right off his trolley. How does he know this frog shit? And Pie Parrot says he's delusional and believes every word he says. And then Glober Mom said Oakley is Soromon and Arwen is Smeagol.
Fucking nailed it, man. Absolutely nailed it. Oh, great time.
That was amazing.
I just can't believe these people are willing to go out in public and say this kind of nonsense.
I know.
Yeah, but if I don't know, but if you're paid $20,000 to spend 2 hours chatting crap, wouldn't you do it? It starts to make you think, doesn't it?
Yes and no, but like I said, I think I couldn't let the world believe I'm a freaking moron just to make some money. I just don't think I could do it. Well, are you gonna switch sides there, Mr. Sensible? I don't know. You sound like you're really starting to consider the possibility.
Wow, as Poe Parrots just said, dollar, 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 dollar. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? At least we know where they're coming from. And he could make even more money if he did a bit of window cleaning on the side.
Well, window licking, maybe.
Window licking. Window licking good.
I couldn't look at myself in the mirror to brush my teeth or shave, if I made my living that way. I really couldn't.
Well, if you make that much money, you can pay someone else to brush your teeth. You wouldn't have to look, would you?
Just pictures are going off in my head that, no, I better leave those alone. Never mind. Let's crack on, Teddy, before I really get myself in trouble. I don't need a community strike.
Viewed from the Earth, this appeared to move around Saturn. And at different points, there are different symbolism for different points. But this was the one that really was the focus of Saturn symbolism, because this was when that luminous crescent was at its most luminous during the day. And so you find this symbol over and over in the ancient world. And this is a common recurring theme of Saturn. And this, the crescent symbolically, and the disk of the Saturn sun, the dwarf star. And so from this came the horned god, the horned goddess.
No.
There is
No.
Madonna in her Super Bowl performance at halftime.
Fuck me.
Oh my goodness.
Saturn in its symbolism. It was
Better pause that
laughable.
before somebody's head explodes.
Oh, and it might be mine.
Yeah, Teddy, I heard you
Fucking hell.
groaning first, so, go ahead and slap him.
Oh, I mean, Saturn is the horned goddess from fucking Egyptian fucking mythology, the pictures he's putting up. And then he jump cuts to fucking Madonna in the fucking Super Bowl halftime. What the motherfucking Christ are you on about? You wazzock. You absolute plum. Go and take a running jump off a short fucking pier with bricks in your pockets. You plump. Oh, Christ. No. Give me whiskey.
Oh, I thought that was hysterical. I was thinking, God, is the guy running a slide projector drunk or high? Because he's talking about the Madonna of the Christian mythology while showing a picture of Madonna in concert. Not the same thing, just because she sings like a virgin. No.
Oh, my fucking God. My head is hurting.
Yeah.
I need more whiskey.
And
More whiskey.
no, I'm sorry, no planet has ever been seen during the day. Things like comets and supernovas, asteroids large asteroids burning up in the upper atmosphere, yeah. But a planet, show me how that works.
Venus.
Well, not broad daylight. I mean, maybe early in the morning when the sun's coming up, or late in the evening as the sun's going down. But that like really close. It is something like 9 or 10 times brighter than what Saturn and Neptune are. I mean, come on.
Oh, they're hard to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's one planet.
See those in the daytime.
There's one planet that is very clearly visible during daytime, and you're fucking standing on it.
Well, okay, you got me there.
Good point.
See, and I thought it was just AB science that made me feel like a dumbass. Now Taddy's doing it.
That is gone and debunked you, logical.
I'm going to have to turn in my shield card if this keeps up.
We'll have it now, man.
We've got some good comments in the chat. Thank you. Eldon S. said he filled Wembley Arena and had a 9-hour talk in 2014. Bob Sr. Yeah, that's crazy. And then Bob Sr. said he makes flat earthers seem logical. And then Bullionator said Egyptians actually worship the actual sun, and then Glober Mom said I can picture David Icke leaving the arena with, laughing maniacally, rubbing his hands together at all the people he sucked into giving him money. And yeah, and then 9 o'clock hero said, don't forget to mention the lizard people. Gross.
Oh God. I really wish people would quit taking my name in vain. There's no flat earther that sounds logical. I don't care who in the hell you're comparing it to, but damn it, I'm the original logical. But 9 hours. Who in the fuck can talk for 9 hours?
Well, give me
I'm
no
sorry.
question.
I've known Jewish grandmas that can't talk that long.
I mean, wow. I mean, don't get me wrong. Wembley even arena. It's fucking big. That's some serious money there. Serious money.
Yeah, no kidding. And before anybody else in the live chat gets on me about making a Jewish grandma crack, half my family is Jewish, so I can kind of get away with it. So, anyway.
Man.
Mr. Sensible?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought we lost you again.
Yeah. No. Like I said,
You're
I
so
keep
polite.
I keep muting. Well, I'm British, dear boy. I am muting my mic just so that I don't stomp all over everyone with one of my coughing fits.
Yeah.
And I never know quite when one's going to come, so I'm being very careful.
And if British is an excuse for being polite and not just jumping in with your comments, how do we explain Jetmonk?
Well, he's a simian, isn't he?
Yeah. Maybe he's just an aberration. I don't know. Kind of like Dick Dawson is a Canadian, but he's not constantly apologizing. I don't know.
But actually, I don't live a million miles away from Jetmonk, and he's one guy I'm planning to meet up with at some point. Really looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, I get a little jealous you guys being able to do the meetups and that. I think the closest one to me is like 600 miles away.
Well, is that Daniel Pratt?
No, thank God he's more like 1,800 miles away from me. But, Bob the Science Guy, he's about 600 miles away from me.
Bob from Northern Michigan. He's great, isn't he?
He is.
He is.
Okay, he's polite. He's polite, always polite.
He is, and he's a nice guy, too.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. I like him a lot.
I'm supposed to be doing a collab with him at some point, but we haven't sorted anything yet.
Ooh,
yeah.
Yeah, you've made the big time when you get to collab with Dr. Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, only I haven't yet. I haven't. It hasn't happened. But it's a plan, and he's agreed. We just need to think of something and arrange something.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
you guys tell me. Are you completely irritated and spared with David Icke? You want to laugh at him some more, or what?
Well, let the plump talk, man. Let the plump talk.
Okay.
I need to point something tonight, and this is helping a lot.
Alrighty. I just don't want to abuse Mr. Sensible's generosity with his time, and we are 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I don't know if I agree with Tati or not, because I don't know what the hell he said.
He said the dumbass talk, basically. Okay, Kay. Go ahead. Crack on, brother.
Beautiful.
Including the fiery eye. And in the movie version of The Lord of the Rings, you had the crescent holding the eye of Sauron. In Arabia, or you look at that of the symbol of Islam, the star, the sun, and the crescent. And the Arabian god Sin was symbolized as a crescent. Here you go. And I would suggest, from David Talbot's point of view, and I think he's right, that this represents the crescent of Saturn. This is the guy who started a satanic Saturn organization or secret society out of Germany called the Brotherhood of Saturn. And there's that symbol of the sun, look, with a dot. That's Saturn, not the sun that we have today, and the horned god. Molech, who is symbolized at Bohemian Grove as the owl, is also symbolized as the bull, and there's the horns with Saturn in the middle. And so you have the bull gods of Mesopotamia. And the winged goddesses in that state, this was often symbolized as the goddess with her holding the god, her arms around the god, or her wings around the god. And there is another version of that with the
Pause.
Thank you.
This is all very interesting, David. Yes, this image is related to that image, Yeah, very, very, very nice. Only it's all mysticism. It's all bullshit. Who gives a monkeys? It's just trash. Evidence any one of those gods, and then perhaps you could extrapolate the meaning of another symbol because it's based on that one and so on. But since not a single one of those gods has been shown to exist, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and that's the cool part about comparative mythology classes in college, is that you get to see the evolution of theology, and the early religions were based on animism, animals and animal spirit guides and things like that, and then he slowly evolved into half human, half animal thing, and then it just we started creating gods in our own image, more and more. But it's an interesting evolution, but to say that something in 5000 BC is completely related to something in the 16th century or the 14th century, or the 21st century, because this worldwide conspiracy, yada yada yada, no, now you're just pulling horse shit out of your rear.
Yeah, because when you look at things like the flood mythology, the flood, Noah and that from the Bible, which is based on earlier flood myths. I can't think, the name of it escapes me right now, but it's virtually identical to, maybe you can help me out here, LT, earlier flood myth. I can't remember what it was called now. A couple thousand years before Christ. And it's all virtually identical, with him building a boat, taking animals on 2 by 2, and at the end releasing various birds. Gilgamesh, someone's has put in the chat. That's right.
Yes.
Releasing various birds to see if there was dry land. It's all there. Thousands of
and
years
people forget.
But it's all based.
Oh, you're kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
Based on these stories, that's all it is. I don't know why this happens. This happened the other night on.
Guys,
Fight the Flat Earth. Got a good hard. A lot.
Stress, you're in and out like a fiddler's elbow, shall we say? I'm trying to be nice here.
I don't know why.
You might have to refresh something in your computer. I don't know. But
I'll try reloading this meet. Okay, I'll come out and come back in again.
Okay,
cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll check and make sure I got the link first.
Yeah. And while he's doing that, I'll, kind of make a point here that as far as like the evolution of theology goes, people forget especially when they want to start referencing the Bible and the Torah and that kind of stuff, that Abraham, who is considered to be the father of the Hebrews, came out of the city of Ur. Well, that was a Sumerian city. So, he was originally Sumerian. He wasn't originally Hebrew. He went from a multi-theistic society and started moving in toward the monotheistic stuff. But yeah, he brought all of his old mythologies with him and weaved it into the new religion that he was bringing into being. So all of the things that you see in Genesis with the flood myth and the creation myth, you can find Sumerian myths that are almost word for word identical. Like the creation myth, in Sumerian, there's like 3 different versions of it, but there's one version of it where the creator goddess was a snake goddess and there was no tempter in the garden. It's the first example of the gods of the old religion becoming the demons of the new. So what he's going on about is interesting but pointless.
Well, obviously, I missed quite a bit of that while I'm out. I assume I'm back in again properly now, am I?
Yep.
Hopefully, I don't cut out. I don't know what the problem is, but never mind. Yeah, so it's all based on earlier stories. So,
yeah, which was kind of my long-winded thing to be saying while you were refreshing everything.
Yeah, I mean, they just pinch ideas from earlier religions.
Yeah,
pinch
certainly.
ideas from earlier religions, and just build on that.
Yeah, just like the pictographical representation of Satan in current Christian mythology is stolen from the Celtic myths of Baphomet. They're not the same thing. They just stole the, God from the one religion and made him the demon of the new religion. That's all.
Yep.
But anyway, Amy, is there anything interesting going on in live chat?
Yes, there is. There's some good comments in here, too. God the Scummer says the only thing that David Icke ever got right was that he said things about Jimmy Savile being a child sex offender before it became public knowledge. Broken clock right twice a day. Pie Parrot says it's a fucking movie. And Eldon S has a hashtag blame Tolkien. Sarcastic Carbon says he's like a 4-year-old. Ooh, shapes. Surf says citation needed on all of this. And then Errant Massa says the star and crescent is not an actual symbol for Islam. Graven images and symbols are forbidden in same, if I recall correctly. In fact, Art says, Mr. Sensible, you must have too many crystals in your water. Mom says it's the Vogons.
The Vogons. Now the Vogon the Vogon construction space fleet hangs in the air just like bricks don't. So there you go, flat earthers. Take that, gravity.
Yeah. There you go.
And with a strong enough power, with a strong enough telescope and at least 6 bottles of scotch, you can actually see the Vogons in orbit. Mm-hmm.
So Tatty probably can now.
All I need is a telescope.
Oh, goodness gracious. So we're almost at the 2.5 hour mark. You want to keep cracking there, Mr. Sensible?
I think I might have to slip on out now, to be honest, LT. I really, really enjoyed this, though.
I appreciate you being here. And to be honest, most of the rest of his video is just more of the same bollocks. He never really gets around to a point. And I think the most irritating thing to me is, he's taking these things from an actual academic course and then mixing Hollywood into it and then basically saying nothing.
Yeah.
Not even that much.
He's just weaving a story that he can sell.
Yeah, and to be, trying to talk about Tolkien, I'm sorry, he's one of my favorite authors from my childhood. Don't fuck with my Tolkien. No, that's sacrilegious. Don't do it. So anyway, we'll say goodnight to Mr. Sensible, and we'll read some more live chats, and we'll do a quick wrap-up, and we'll say goodnight. So, Mr. Sensible, before you sign off, why don't you give us a quick wrap-up of the evening, and then we'll say goodnight.
Well, I have really enjoyed it. It was a pleasure to be asked, LT. I really, really appreciate it. With the wonderful Amy and Tatty, great fun. I've really enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed the side chat as well. And I look forward to another year's worth of stupid bashing from the Troglodyte. I really do.
I'll drink to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I definitely want to see more babes. Definitely more babes.
Well,
It'll improve your sub count because I'll create lots of soccer accounts and I'll keep subbing. Listen, you guys are wonderful. Love you all. I'm gonna love you and leave you and stay sensible.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Sensible.
Cheers,
Thank you
Mr.
so
Desmond.
much for
Thank you
joining us
so
this
much.
evening. Means a lot.
Take care. Bye bye.
Really
Bye bye.
does, mate.
Bye everyone in
Yeah,
chat.
pleasure,
Bye
mate.
bye.
Bye. So, anyway, Amy, why don't you read out a little more of the live chat?
Sure. There was a good one. Eldon S. says there is a flood and a serpent in Hinduistic myths as well. And Arthur, with the funny name at the end, says, yeah, there were flood myths and a lot of... Yeah, Arthur, fuck's sake. Yeah, he said, yeah, there were flood myths in a lot of civilizations around the world, as flooding is really reasonably common. And Tommy Gronvold says, and now I need to see The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy again. Long time no see. And Tusk says, listening to Nate, exactly. Chris Katsula says 8 bottles and no telescope needed. Godless Scummer says congratulations on 1 year. Thanks to you and all the guys at the Shills for being so great to me. And Steaming Cup of Reason says good night or good morning, everyone. Was nice to see you all here. Good stream, Logical Troglodyte. And there we go. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate everybody showing up and all the well wishing, and I'm not entirely sure. Mr. Sensible wished another year of this on me. Does that make me brave or masochistic? I'm not entirely sure. And is there really that much of a fine line between them?
That's just very thin.
Depends how much you enjoy it.
Okay, Teddy, why don't you give us some final thoughts before we head on home?
Final thoughts. What can I say? First off, please join me in raising a glass to 1 year of the fantastical, logical troglodyte. Lang may your lum reach, son. Lang may your lung reap. And as for the videos, you can see the progression made between the first videos and the second offerings. And as for Mr. Reich, what a load of shite, man. That's all I've got to say in that one. What a load of shite.
Yeah. What about you, Amy? Any final thoughts?
Yes, I want to say congratulations on 1 year. That's amazing. That's awesome. And as to the videos, oh my gosh, you guys did an amazing job. They're so funny. Great work, both of you. They were just so funny. Star Trek is by far my favorite. Love it. And I can see the progression. It's amazing. And yes, and thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this with you all. I've met all of you, and now I'm, it's just amazing. I've learned so much from all of you, and I can't thank you enough for that. So thank you.
Appreciate it. And I have no idea why I'm thinking of this at the end of the stream instead of days ago when we were planning this. But the Morgile had put out a video about the lunar eclipse and how they work, and that was, I think, number 4 or 5 video in my video library, starting from the beginning. And Mr. Sensible, about a month or 2 ago, actually debunked that same video. And I'm thinking, God, why didn't we think about that, where we basically have a debunk off? I think the next time I invite him on, that's what we'll do. We'll agree on a video to debunk. We'll make our debunk videos and we'll hold them for the live stream and let the audience decide who debunked it better. That could actually be fun.
Yes.
What do you guys think?
Oh yeah,
that would be fun.
All right. Well,
I'd be happy to be part of that, man.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think we'll have to do that. Next month, people have asked for more Trog Clan Live, so we'll try to do that at the end of every month. And next month, I've invited Sarcastic Barman on. Don't know what we're going to be doing, but I'm sure it'll be funny. And we'll see what else shakes loose. No dad jokes. Dude, is he going to be able to talk? 'Cause he's really good at them. But anyway, I wanted to thank everybody in the live chat for sticking with us for 2.5 hours. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, Mr. Sensible's channel, the Shills, Logic and Reason, and all the rest of the stuff that we do. We're glad that you're part of the journey with us. And with that, we'll say goodnight. Taddy, let's go home.
Good night, troops. Catch you later.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.